This is Rooted Cosmic Soul, sacrificing the patriarchy from a broom closet in the here and the there, offering rememberings in times of chaos, confusion, love, and belonging. This is a special episode out of sequence, no episode number. It is the day in which the recording, The Cloak Sitting by the Door, has come out, and I listened to it. And I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling with this idea of perfection and clarity. I feel like I had a certain idea about that recording, and I even listened to it after the recording, but perhaps who I was when I recorded it is not the person I am listening to it. And I really struggled with wanting to take that down, like wanting to delete it. And also being quite aware that right now my natal chart is in a serious square situation. Neptune is squaring Saturn, Saturn is squaring the Sun, Jupiter is squaring the Moon, Venus is squaring Saturn, Mercury is squaring Saturn. My understanding is like Saturn is the lesson bringer, asks us to reevaluate, do some boundary setting, set some structures in place. And so I got a lot of that energy all throughout my transit chart at the moment. And while I am a centaur and I got some strong legs, my back hurts a little bit, Saturn. In this moment, I am wondering if my desire to take down the video is sort of this lesson that Saturn is trying to give me. I'm not taking that video down, though I really, really want to. And the reason I'm not taking it down is because I think to do so, to take it down, really is a disservice to my process of stepping into my emotions, stepping into my life in terms of my choices and decisions and what that brings up. And that video brings up a lot for me around perfectionism and wanting to get things just right, wanting to be understood, seeking to be really clear. A lot of insecurities that I think many of us have, but I'll speak from the I that I have based on living in a world, particularly in a culture in the United States in which everything about me has never been quite enough or quite right. So I'm putting that out there as a vulnerability point to push myself, and I'm not going to take that video down. And at the same time, I felt like I wasn't as clear as I could have been about the point that I was attempting to make around this idea of the cloak sitting by the door. And that is that I can feel the divine feminine rising. I can feel it. I feel it in myself. I feel it in the people that I am attracting, that I am attracted to. And I wanted to give it energy, space, airways. I wanted to feed it into the collective. I also wasn't really clear. I think that there are many ways to be part of the rising divine feminine. I definitely experience that energy through Mary Magdalene because my upbringing in this life, I was born and raised into a Christian evangelical home that was part of a local cult. So a lot of stuff is really ingrained in me around understanding energy, spirit from that perspective. So it makes sense to me that my entryway into this energy, into this idea of understanding divine feminine archetypal energy, is going to be through the figure of Mary Magdalene and its, connection to Christianity. That being said, many of us are experiencing the rise of the divine feminine through non-Christian archetypes and non-Christian ascended masters. It could be through Kali Ma, it could be through Kuan Yin. I am surrounded by some really powerful women who move quite closely with the energy of Yemaya, um, and other Orisha. So that cloak sitting by the door, it's sitting by many of our doors, and many of our doors do not look the same. Beautifully so, right? In nature, diversity is queen. And so I just really deeply appreciate that I am beginning to not only feel it in my own growth and expansion, this divine feminine rising, and meaning an understanding of the power within us, an understanding of flow, of nonlinear movement, of connecting to our intuition, of understanding how the power of our emotions are constantly giving us the roadmap and the feedback that we need to continue finding our most authentic selves. Because in that inward gaze, that self inquiry, that dive in to find my voice that was stolen, beaten, taken, raped, robbed from by power over patriarchy, white supremacy, anti-blackness, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia, classism, environmental degradation, like all these things, whether it directly affects me or not, it affects others, so therefore it affects me. All of those things I am releasing. I am getting a clear view of as I go in, as I connect with divine feminine aspects, to bring harmony and balance to a world that is disharmonized, out of balance, harmful. And so I am deeply grateful that that's going to look different for many of us and look the same for many of us, that there are numerous collectives and people coming together, and that there's a sort of like a Venn diagram of these multiple circles throughout Earth, that we don't have to be the same. We don't have to be in the same circle, but they definitely overlap. And while my cloak is blood red and full of love and compassion and grace, your cloak could be presenting itself as another color and presenting emotions and feelings differently, of whatever that means for you. I just know that there are multiple cloaks sitting by multiple doors, and we are beginning to see them, feel them, sense them, want to wear them. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this moment, even as I'm square, square, square over here. Square, 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 square. My natal chart is like Saturn is just like, what? I'm going to pour a little bit more over here. Giddy up, horsey. So anyway, thank you. If you also have a cloak sitting by your door, I'm grateful for you. This is Rooted Cosmic Soul, sacrificing the patriarchy from our bloom closet. The energy here stays here. The energy there stays there. I'll sense you later. Return when moved to do so. Same Bruja time, same Bruja channel.